Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Vocal Arts. I hope you guys are ready for my full conversation with Tomi P. But first, here are a few of my favorite moments from Tomi P's career as a musician, as a bass singer, all that good stuff. Check them out.
Birds are silent for the night. How steady this daylight dies. I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. If I had a heart, I would love you. If I had a voice, I would sing.
Hello everyone, wherever you are watching or listening from. I am here with the great Tomi P, my man, and I'm going to pass it over to him and allow him to introduce himself real quick. Tomi, who are you, man? Who are you?
Well, thanks, Peter. Well, first, thank you for inviting me for this. This show is absolutely amazing. I've been watching for a couple of months, and it's always great. So I'm very honored to be here. And to who I am, well, I'm a acapella artist and a bass singer on YouTube, and one of the four members of the bass gang. And in my professional life, I guess I am a software engineer. So that's the most important stuff, I would say.
Fantastic. Dude, I was trying to think like what our lives were like the last time we chatted. Because I chatted with you in my first rendition of the podcast
Yeah, I
back
remember.
in I think 2021 probably, before the
Yeah.
Bass Gang.
Was it before the bass gang?
It's before the Bass Gang.
Oh my god.
Isn't that
It's a long
wild?
time.
Can
That's
you
wild.
can you imagine a world pre-Bass Gang?
No, what world that could be like the nah. No, thank you.
So now with the Bass Gang and all of us have kind of had to change our strategy with making music. How much time are you devoting to Bass Gang stuff versus your own individual stuff? I had a lot of questions come in for you about your individual music.
Yeah, well, recently it turned very much on the side of the bass gang because, and it's just not just the reason because I want to focus more on the bass gang than my personal stuff, but also because I found a new job around a year ago, I think from now, year and a couple months. And so I had to pay a lot of attention to that. And just on the scale of importance, there's much more people involved in the bass gang. And I think personally, if I would have to say that the bass gang definitely has a more potential than my own soul music. So that's why I decided to prioritize the bass gang stuff. But yeah, currently it's not looking that good for my own music, but that's gonna change very soon.
Great. I feel the same way too. I'm very passionate about my own individual stuff, but the Bass Gang's something special. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of potential there with all of us working together.
Yeah, it's also, I think it's so much more fun. Like I love
I
doing
agree.
music just for myself and singing it all by myself because it's easier. You know your voice perfectly and you can do it on your own volition anytime you want. But doing it with other people, with your friends, it's just there's always something to surprise you. There's so much joy in working with other people. So yeah, that's also one of the reasons.
That moment slash process of like you make the demo, you listen to the demo, it usually already sounds good in your own voice, but it's often like tuned really heavily and all these things.
Yeah.
And then you send the parts away. And that first moment when you get all the parts together, even not even mixed
Yeah.
or mastered, but the first moment when you get all the voices back together, you're just like, oh, it has
Yeah, it is perfect.
completely raised the level.
Yeah, that's one of the best feelings. Like you just plan it and you try to imagine how this is gonna sound with all their voices. Like I know them very well, but I'm still never sure. and then somebody gives it this like kind of new flair, and you're like, whoa, this is great.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing. It seems a little bit more of lately where we'll have the very formal demo and all the parts, but we'll also be like, please just experiment and make up your own stuff and
Yeah,
we'll see what works.
yeah, for sure.
Throat bass becoming more and more of a theme.
Oh yeah, that's a topic on and of itself. But yeah,
Dude,
that's gonna be prominent a lot.
so by the time this chat comes out, our cover with Ekaterina will be out. So we can actually talk about that
Oh,
on
yes.
this project. So yeah, what was your experience like recording and just kind of an overview of this project? Because this is a really special one for us. It's our first one of 2024. It's uh Ekaterina is probably our biggest collaborator so far,
Yeah.
at least in some circles. So what's this project been like for you?
Oh, it's been unbelievable. Like just the fact that we got Ekaterina on the track is absolutely amazing. I saw some of her videos. I heard the cover of Savage Daughter that blew up, and she's a phenomenal singer. So that was a big honor to work with her. And also your arrangement is something that I just haven't heard from you. I was like, I know that you can write great arrangements, but this is something entirely different than I'm used to hearing from you. So that took me by surprise, and I loved it. So the recording process was definitely something I was very excited for. There was a lot of tracks, especially when we hold the what is it E0 no E0
E1, E1,
E1,
yeah.
yeah, E1 the whole time. So I was like, that's gonna be brutal. But I managed, and also the freedom to like find or explore my throw based technique more and try to figure out more stuff around that. That was also a lot of fun. So it was definitely an experience, and I want to do it again.
Amazing. Yeah, why don't you? I know you had a specific discovery in your throat bass on this
Oh
project because
yeah,
I was asking you to throw bass down to an ungodly level. So why don't you
yeah,
tell everyone about what you
yeah.
discovered, the new technique you discovered?
Yeah, well, the fact about this song is that it is in the key of E minor.
Yeah.
Yeah, E minor. So a lot of the lines either start or end on low E. And I wanted to sing a lot of throat bass lines, like whenever I could. So we have material to use, something interesting, but most of them ended in that low E. And my throat bass is just isn't developed enough yet to go down to E1 on its own. So I was just trying some stuff and exploring, and I found out that I can, like, 1 out of 100 tries, I can successfully land a second subharmonic throat bass E1 with like singing B1 actually in throat bass, and it like jumps down something like when you do subharmonics and you sing first sub like A1, and then you just go into that second sub and it drops another fifth. So that's the same thing with that.
That is absolutely insane, and I assume way harder to control than normal.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I can't even do normal
Yeah.
second subs, and I imagine throat bass second subs is much more technical.
Yeah, I cannot do like normal second subs either. Like there's some occasions that I'm just lucky to something with the
Yeah.
voice, it just is there, but usually not. So this was a very surprising thing to me
I'm
as
glad
well.
you did
Yeah.
it. I'm glad I think it's brought out just enough in the mix to where you can hear it,
Yeah, yeah, it is people
you
might
know.
not recognize what it is at the time because there's so
No.
many voices, but it is there. I'm always just
Yeah.
yeah, blushing when I just yes, that's the one.
Yeah, so for some context on the arrangement, yeah, I mean, usually I think for Flicker Beat, I probably had like 40 or 50 tracks. And then for this one, they were over 200 before I cut
Insane.
it down. Over 200 tracks between the five of us,
It
which is
must have
just,
been one hell of a recording session on the demo.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, it was, and then I asked for multiple takes from a lot of people. So, but yeah, it was definitely unlike any arrangement I've done before. Just the number of voices and the style of just being like the big kind of war chant kind of stuff with the war drums. Definitely never a style I had taken on before. And it is relatively I mean, it's structured like harmonically very similar to the original. I threw in some dissonance and I threw in some other things, and obviously turned it into like classic bass gang where it's just, I mean, literally an E1 subharmonic for about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a few moments where it comes in and out, right, to add a little bit of
Yeah.
contrast and kind of make us want it. But
Mm.
that is a crazy foundation to have the four of us doing an E1 basically the
Yeah,
whole
that's
time.
that's called a pedal tone, right?
Yeah, or drone.
Yeah.
Yeah, pedal tone works too. It was
That's
fun.
I think that's the first time we ever did that, like for an entire song.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's cool because
It
it's
is
so it's
crazy.
so low that it doesn't like normally if you held a pedal tone like right in the middle of everything, it might muddy up the not
Yeah.
muddy the sound, but there'd be a lot of dissonance where you might not want it. But an E1
Yep.
is like so far removed from normal singing that it's so low that it doesn't matter. It just like creates this foundation.
Yeah.
It's like a rumble. It's basically just
Yeah.
like a rumble the whole time.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
and that
it's
arrangement,
a crazy thing.
I had the idea on my way back from Italy in the airport to contact the Caterina for this song. It just like came to me. And she had actually
Oh,
she followed me, and we had been in touch like somewhere partway through the pandemic. I think when I made the stairwell videos, she found my Instagram and followed me. And so we had
oh,
had a
before you made the interview with her.
yeah, so we had had a little back
Oh,
so we had had a little back and forth, and she came on the channel for a chat. And then I was just in the airport and I was like, what song could the bass gang do for wintertime? And this is back in like
yeah.
May. And I was like, okay, the Vikings theme song's insane. And her voice on that would be absolutely perfect. So I just like shot her a DM out of nowhere, and it just like snowballed from there. And I'm like, literally, as we record this, what, 5 days from now, it's going out on streaming, hopefully. And then
Yeah.
a little over a week, it's going out on music video. So we are very excited to share this one with you guys.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. It's just gonna be perfect. Like actually, when you told us that, I just did a demo of If I Had a Heart for our winter release, and I'm like, what is that? Like I've never heard it because I never watched Vikings the show, and then you played it. I'm like, that's the David Kahn song. Because the OGs from the community remember, like David Kahn's one of the most popular first bass shorts kind of on
Yeah,
YouTube was him just singing that solo to low F sharp, and it was insane.
it's so good.
Yeah.
It's amazing that the original is not in bass voice.
I
The
actually
original is like
didn't
an
hear it
yeah,
still.
the original for the guy singer is an octave higher than we're doing it, and it's the
Oh
same. It's this, and for the female singer, it's the same as what a Katarina does, except a Katarina adds a bunch of much higher stuff as well.
yeah, which is amazing. Like
Oh
those harmonies in the seconds that she just holds. Uh,
yeah, dude,
yeah,
she's unreal, and
absolutely.
she goes up to like probably E6 in some of those really high stuff.
E6.
I think she gets up
Oh wow.
at least that high, like whistle tone range.
All right.
Yeah. Yet she's also doing like the stuff
Yeah,
with us as
yeah, yeah.
well. Dude,
That's crazy.
perfect collaborator for the song.
It is. That was a perfect choice. Absolutely.
And I remember that the demo, like as soon as I got to Phoenix and like built my little vocal booth, I think I recorded almost all of it in like one session. I remember I was getting up super early because I was in Czech Republic time zone. Oh, maybe it was when I was coming back from the Czech Republic when I did it.
That was the end of August.
Yeah, that must be it.
Ah,
That must have been it. And so I was
okay.
getting back and I was on this time zone. Yeah, that's definitely it because when I went to Italy, that was before I had talked to the Katerina on the podcast. So this is
Yeah.
for sure when I was coming back from the base gang trip. And I was getting up at like 3:30 a.m. because I was in y'all's time zone. I literally went back nine
Yeah.
time zones. And I remember I got up and I think I started recording at like 4:30 a.m. and just recorded until like 10 a.m. and it was done.
How did you get it so quickly?
Well,
That is insane.
I think I started probably with the solo because it's just like great morning voice solo. And then
Yeah.
I think I went to the E1 and just got a long enough take to where I could uh copy paste it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty
to
smart.
get a good copy paste, though, you had to hold it for like a good 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, yeah, you can kind of really blend it in the middle of
No,
the beat.
no.
But yeah, that worked out so well. And well, that's like what 6 hours of recording. That's a lot, especially if you wake up so early.
It was a ton. It was a ton of recording.
Damn.
But I was
Well,
inspired, man. You
good
know how it
job.
feels.
That's
You know how it feels.
yeah, I know very well. Surge
So,
of motivation.
so are there any solo projects from you that we can be looking out for this year?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's something in the works right now. It's been in the works for I think a year almost. Uh and I've had the recordings for some time. It is something very similar to Jericho that I
Oh,
did last year, which was really popular. So I really now like the style of music, this like primal,
yeah.
uh, very deep, you know, and chilled out songs. So that's gonna be absolutely epic. I already talked to our artist that we also use for with the bass gang for the cover art. So it's gonna be a visualizer and it's gonna be pretty dope. And it is a song that you are very familiar with because it was something you that was your idea to make it one of the covers for which was it? I think volume two, when we did volume two,
Oh
that
man.
it was one of the songs that you suggested. And we
What,
went for Yellow Flicker Beat, but the other one was this, and
what was
I
I'm trying to
absolutely
remember.
loved it.
I'm trying to remember what my thoughts were.
There's two primary choices for you. Yellow Flicker Beat and this.
You can tell me after the interview.
Well, I can tell you right now. I think it's gonna be out somewhere in like within 3 weeks.
Oh, great.
So I can probably tell. Yeah. So it's the song Lion, Saint
Oh,
Mesa.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And that's right. We were thinking about that for Base Gang.
Yeah. And it's you were right. It's so good. I just couldn't resist. And I think
Good.
it ended up very nice. So I hope you're gonna like it when you hear it.
Are you featuring anyone or is it just you?
Yeah, it's just me. It's just me. But I am planning some features for especially another song that I already started recording a demo for. And that one is much faster and totally different from Lion. But it's really difficult. There's so many like these like these fast lines that are so hard to record, and I want to invite a collaborator who's pretty known for this style of singing. So
Cool.
we'll see how it's
Awesome.
gonna go.
Awesome. Okay, so at least a couple solo projects coming up. Are you
Yeah.
sticking to pure acapella or are you branching and using samples?
Definitely using samples for the beat. Not yet really using any instruments. I tried violin for the Jericho cover, but uh, I'm not really in habit using instruments because it's still a little bit hard for me to arrange something that's primarily a cappella. There's a lot of voices, and then just place an instrument on random on there. It has to serve a really specific purpose. So
Yeah.
we'll see what comes up, I guess.
Some certainly work better than other ones
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
That's for sure. But like
For
all the string instruments, like cello or violin, works really well with like an
hmm
ensemble of vocals.
hmm
But like a guitar, yeah,
Guitar's tougher. Yeah.
yeah.
Brass can work really. I find brass can work really well in a final chorus.
Ooh, well, yeah.
Big,
Just
big,
listen
big,
to any soundtrack.
big brass ensemble. My range. I won't reveal this yet because this will be a surprise. But my arrangement for our next. I mean, you know it. You know it. My arrangement for the bass gang for our fourth
Oh
EP.
yeah, oh yeah. I still
Um,
haven't heard the demo, so I'm
I
super
haven't
hyped.
I haven't showed it to anyone yet.
It's gonna be so good.
I just want to because if I had a heart is so awesome, I want us to fully embrace and like get all the juice out of this experience
Oh yeah,
as opposed to like putting it on the side and already being excited for the next thing.
yeah.
So
That's like
I'm waiting
that's
till
good.
that's out and then I will show you guys the
Yeah.
the awe and wonder of this arrangement. But the final section of that arrangement has huge brass section.
Like actual brass, or is it going to be like us pretending that we are
No,
brass?
actual brass.
Oh,
Actual brass.
oh,
Yeah, the song is like what I'm doing more for the bass gang now is kind of what I'm doing for my own music, which is like heavy drum sampling,
yeah.
EDM elements, instruments, but still like a ton of heavy multi-tracking voices. Yeah, you've heard some of
Oh,
you've heard some of what I'm cooking up.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And if this is gonna be just half as good as that, I'm gonna lose my mind.
There will be a moment when everything
I can see it. I can see
in
it.
this song, the structure of this song that I'm doing for the next Bass King album, there's an intro, just acapella, essentially acapella intro. There's like a synthy bass drone underneath. There's
Okay.
also an F sharp one sub sustained at the end of the intro, which is really nice. So like, putting that bass gang flair. And then
Oh,
there's a whole verse that's just pure acapella and like basically like almost no effects either, just pure acapella. And then the second verse that comes in, it's just like, and there's really what I love about it is
yeah.
sometimes a big drop is really great. You anticipate and anticipate and anticipate, which I do later in the song. But this first one is just like
No,
acapella voices
nothing.
stop and then it just all
Oh,
it just all comes
oh
in.
no.
And so
Oh
you
no.
wouldn't really know it's not an acapella cover until that moment. And then you're like, oh shit.
Oh no. Oh my God.
It's
Oh,
crazy,
I
man.
cannot
It's
wait.
crazy.
Yeah. I already
Uh,
started arranging the song for the album as well a couple days ago because we
oh,
finally established all the people in the
yeah.
works on this. And I started, and it is like you said, I'm starting to use more instruments in the songs, and these are type of instruments that I've never arranged for. It's my first time experience, so I was really scared for a long time that I'm gonna mess this up. And then just started writing, and I'm like 25, 30 seconds into the song, and it slaps so hard. And that is exactly that's kind of similar part that you said that you have, that it just kind of builds, and then it stops, and it's just one voice, and then it drops. Like it
Oh man.
is that fake out drop.
The fake out. The fake out. Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm so excited. Are
So
you
good.
so you're gonna use studio musicians for aspects of your arrangement, correct? Is that still part of the plan?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I probably
Studio musicians are just musicians that do
ah
that record parts for songs.
uh that's that's difficult to say because I was for a long time. I always
Yeah.
wrote my arrangement as sheet music, then I recorded it by that. And then when we started with the bass gang, I slowly converted to recording the demo straight away.
Hmm.
But now with my two arrangements that I'm writing for the bass gang currently, I am getting back to writing sheet music because I found out that yes, I can do it, and I prefer to do this studio arrangement just with the mic and recording when I do it for my own work because there is a little bit different style that I'm going for. But for the bass gang, with all the amount of voices that we have and the amount of planning that I want to put into it, I really want to have it on paper and have some reference to it. Because recording it is great, but if I record something that I don't like, I have to just scrap all of it and record something different. And it takes such a long time. If I just write it, I can just delete it and write something else within 10 minutes.
Right, you already know how it sounds.
Yeah.
It's funny what I've been doing for a lot of these songs lately, and somehow this often works out, is I will just like, especially these weird introductions I've been doing that are just like separate from the cover. I'll just like something will pop in my head and I'll record it.
Yeah.
And it's often just like one or two takes for each one. And I'll sing one line and then I'll just make up a harmony below it somewhere else. One take, done. Next one, make up a new harmony. And like
Yeah.
I'll have like this crazy, intricate, weird intro done in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean. That is definitely a good style because it has that feeling that if you do it, you actually have the voice down, like it is recorded. It doesn't sound like some sampled
Hmm.
instrument in a program. Music or Ableton. Sorry, no. What was the second one? I don't know.
Sibelius.
Sibelius, that's the one. Yeah, whatever you use, like it is still sampled, and with those tracks that they have for the chorus, it is. I hate that. So it has that kind of feeling that you know already, but every time I do it, there is something that a little bit stops me from saying this probably isn't the best I can do. Like, what if there is something better? Like, even if I like it, what if there is something better? And I don't have the space to try everything that I want to try.
Yeah.
So
That makes
that's how
sense.
all the crazy harmonies just come up with from just trying different stuff in the sheet music.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just sounds good. I'm like, whoa, yeah, that's the one that I've been looking for.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I mean, really any style of arrangement works. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. Something I love about this one that I've been doing is it's so organic. And like I will sing things that I never would have thought to write. And I'll make up harmonies that like maybe on paper looks like they wouldn't work, but then you get them in the booth with the other voices and you're like, this is weird, but it works and I love it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. That's kind of like my Marwan, just coming up with absolutely insane harmonies.
Exactly.
And stuff that I would never even write down on paper just by recording.
Right.
Okay.
It's kind of because you just hit record and you're just like, I'm just going to try it, as opposed to like, I'm going to think about it. So there are definitely big pros and cons to each. In this arrangement, people, all the Bass Gang fans are going to be like, will you just tell us what you're doing? I'm going to keep saying the arrangement I'm doing for the next album.
Yeah, it is hard to not say it out loud. I'm trying to watch myself.
The Rachmaninoff B flat descent.
Oh yeah, you've posted it as a challenge.
It's like a big challenge thing.
Yeah.
That's interweaved into the intro for this song. It's
no
like
way.
The bass one line it's not as low. It goes from F sharp 3 to F sharp 2 down while everything else is moving around. There's this consistent bass line going down. But then when it hits the F sharp 2, there's also an F sharp 1 sub. So it's like going down, going down, going down, going down, and then there's this like beautiful like
that's dirty.
Like
that's dirty. Oh, who's gonna be singing that?
I just never would have thought to write it. I don't. Well, I might get our collaborator to do it in.
Well, that's a perfect choice.
Do it raw. Do it raw.
Do it raw.
Which only Bobby could potentially do with some heroic morning voice, whereas our collaborator can do it any time of the day. Wink, wink. Sorry, people. You're gonna hate us for not telling you anything more.
Yeah. Well, I guess it eliminates it to only 2 people. Well, 3.
Yeah, almost no one is like that. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm very excited for 2024 for the Bass Gang.
Yes, there's so many things that we have planned.
So many.
It's gonna be dope.
So much potential there, and I do love that we have it mapped out. Like we know what we're up against for the whole year.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big plus. We're trying to get things more organized and everything.
Yep.
And I think it works. Like so far it worked. So
it's great. Absolutely. So as far as your individual channel, I mean, do you view it much more for fun now, whereas the Bass Gang is also for fun, but more like for business?
Yeah, if I had to like choose what's more for fun and what's more for business, then Bass Gang would be more on the business side. But in general, like since I started working my new job, I take all of the music more as fun for me. Like I'm not focused on like, increasing subs, increasing views, getting viral. Because when I really tried that in 2022 and I released my first album. And I had this whole plan that I'm going to have a new video every 2 months in 2023 for every song from the album. But as soon as I released the album, I realized that I have such a burnout from just making music. I didn't want to do anything. And I couldn't even listen to the album because I'm like, I was listening to these arrangements for 9 months. I just cannot hear it. Just get it out. People listen to it. And I'm going to do some other stuff. So I realized that if I push it, it's not good, I think, in the long term for me. So I decided to just stick with casual schedule of when there's a song that I just hear and I'm like, this would be really good. So then I just do it on a whim. And sometimes I finish it a couple of days, like Unholy, like that cover was done in 2 days. And it was absolutely slapping. So
Hmm.
it's not about the effort that I put into it, but about how I enjoy making it, how much passion I have for it at the time.
Yeah.
And but bass gang has the same passion for me, even
Hmm.
sometimes even more, because there is so many people that I share it with, and there is so much more potential because we have, well, first, much bigger outreach with
Hmm.
all of our names. We have much more organized things with the manager Casper and with all the marketing that we do,
Hmm.
Yeah, and there's much more potential in the recording or arranging and doing songs for four voices, and
Yeah.
sometimes a female collaborator, sometimes a tenor collaborator, sometimes a deeper bass than anyone that I've ever seen. So there's so much diversity that I just love it. But yeah, there's also that business side, of course. Like,
Yeah.
we're doing
With you,
great.
man.
So
I'm with you. I've been thinking much more about making my own music without any attachment to its performance. Because I
yeah,
remember being like truly crushed when I put Enemy out, because I put so much time and effort, and I'm still so incredibly proud of it. It's still my
you
favorite
should be.
solo
It's
project.
awesome.
And I remember, just got
Yeah,
essentially no reception, and that was crushing
yeah,
to me because of how much time and money and effort I put
yeah. It
into it.
is. It can be really devastating.
Yeah, and I
But
realized that
that's
was
just what.
just
Yeah.
that was an unhealthy mental model to have, to be too
Yeah.
attached, especially when it was, I suppose it can be a little different if it's your primary source of income. You have a little more right
Hmm.
to be concerned and think more about analytics, and like I do that stuff for my analysis videos.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about how I can tinker them and get better audience capture and stuff like that. Been doing a
Hmm.
lot of that stuff lately. But for the solo projects lately, it's really I'm just trying to enjoy the recording and editing and
Yeah.
mixing process, and just kind of whatever happens when I release them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a I think it's a great mindset for creating absolutely amazing music.
Hmm.
Because really, if I compare any song from my album, okay, most of them, they are not even at close to the level of what I feel about Jericho, for example. Because it's something I was so hyped about when I heard it. I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. I'm just gonna do it. And
Hmm.
it's worked out perfectly. And it shows on the streams, like, that people just love it.
Yeah.
And uh but I understand that if you want to make a living out of it, you really need to take it seriously. You
Hmm.
can't just, like, have fun. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you can if you are somebody really lucky who just on accident goes viral with a couple of millions of views, but that's
Yeah,
that's a
no,
very
it's,
rare
it's
case. Yeah.
extremely rare. And then even in that case, you still have to keep putting out stuff, you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to be reliable as a creator. Like someone like Jonathan Young, who went really viral early on,
Yeah.
still pumps out amazing covers like
Hmm.
every few days. You know,
He is incredible. Like, I don't get how he's doing that.
he has created a system. He's like a music machine.
It's just awesome. I wonder, like, you talked to him on the podcast. I think I watched like 80% of it.
Hmm.
And I wondered, because he was talking a lot about how he makes music, the way that he needs to really focus, and the way you need to separate the mindset of like a musician and a businessman,
Yeah.
that you need to be just looking at it with both sides, and
Yeah.
it's a in detriment to one another. I wonder if that is something that he just made terms with, like, this is just how it is, and that's how I have to do it, or if it's something that he actually like enjoys, that like he can do so much so quickly that it is actually
Yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
or is it just if he could choose, still the same kind of attention, income, everything stays, but you can do it more spread out with much more passion
Yeah,
for the different pieces.
I imagine. I mean, at the very least, that at least he gets to choose which songs he's covering.
True. Yeah.
But I can't imagine putting out even a song every couple weeks. I feel like I would burn out so
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Like the
Definitely.
songs I've been doing lately, I'm just so fired up about all of them. Where it's like any free, I'll have a huge long rehearsal and I'll have a dinner break
Mhm.
before another long rehearsal. And like in that dinner break, I'm editing and producing music, and then
You're on fire.
shoveling food and getting back to rehearsal. It's
Damn.
like
That's insane.
I'm kind of in that mode right now. A couple projects have come up in the last couple weeks that I'm not super stoked about. And so for
Mhm.
this album, I kind of just I want to make or EP. I'm not really sure yet because I don't want to put out more songs just for the sake of having a full album. I'd much rather put out an
Yeah.
EP of songs that I'm crazy about,
That's
which
a
is
good idea. Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about. So like, there's one song, and a lot of them are songs, or a few of them are songs from the Arcane soundtrack because I'm obsessed, and I am now, friends with the guy that wrote a lot of them, which is so cool.
That's insane.
Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
remember when you told us.
yeah, absolutely amazing. So I did a there are songs on this EP that I actually like more than my version of Enemy. That I'm just like, they're just
All
like
right.
they're produced better, they're cleaner, the mixing's better, the parts of them just hit harder and they're just better. They're just like better made
Yeah.
songs. And one of them I made a full version, and these projects started back in summer of 2022. Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
started a
That's a
long time
while
ago.
since you played the first one or first two for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, exactly. And so one I made a full version, and I also made a second version featuring Marwan where he's just added a bunch of like Egyptian Phrygian
Oh
riffs and
no.
cadences to it. And it was my brother's idea. My brother listened to my version a long time ago, whatever the early. He was like, dude, I could really hear Marwan doing some of that like Egyptian style riffing.
Wow.
And so I'm gonna be releasing two versions, one like my solo version and one with Marwan with a bunch of this added stuff. And
Oh boy.
they are probably my two favorite projects I've ever made, my two favorite tracks I've ever made.
That sounds so cool.
Like
Yeah, I
both of
can't
them.
wait. I don't know what to imagine right now, like Phrygian scales. That can be anything. But I'm hyped. That sounds awesome.
I'll show you guys those sometime soon, probably as it continues to
Ah,
come
let's
together.
go.
Because those are done. I mean, like I think 4 or 5 songs are done, like mastered, done. For the EP.
Wow.
All ones that I'm absolutely
Already?
all ones that I'm crazy about. Well, because I've been working on them. I mean, I worked
Yeah,
on them
yeah.
a lot that first summer. I kind of built the foundations for all of them. And then I
Yeah,
would say
okay.
over the like since I got to Phoenix like 4 months ago, been putting in
Mm.
work and recording and editing. And so at this point, yeah, I'd say 5. I mean, I could release an EP right now. I'd like to get a couple more songs, but because I probably started arrangements for it was like 13 or 14, and there are like 5 that really work out of those. There's a couple I'm kind of trying to like white knuckle and like make really good, but they're just not quite working. You know how that feels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Dude, you're a machine. It was really amazes me recently, especially when you started doing all the demos for Bass King's EP songs. And like when we were really switching the collaborators between the songs, and we didn't know what collaborator is going to be for your song, and the difference between them is pretty big. So you just did two versions, and then somebody came with the idea, okay, what if we actually give you this one, like a third, another collaborator? I'm like, well, he already has two versions. Like, don't put that much pressure on him. And you're like, that's cool. I can do it tomorrow. Like, dude, I haven't
dude,
even started.
dude, it's so weird too because this spring is as busy as I get for opera. Like I'm singing a big role, and we are in the middle of a production right
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
Like
production for what?
the Barber of Seville. Um,
Okay.
so I'm singing
Are you gonna be in
Basilio.
Europe?
No, this is all in Arizona.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, this is it.
Well, you never know. Maybe we fly out one day with Casper.
That would be so fun.
It's
You
so
guys should
fun.
do that. But it's interesting because this is the busiest I've been, yet there's this energy that I have when I'm away from opera where I'm just like always down to dive into editing or whatever. And usually, even if I'm not in the mood for it when I start, I quickly get in the mood for it because I hear something and I'm like, oh, I can tweak that. Oh, I can tweak this and make this better. So
Yeah,
it turns out that like my busiest time for opera has also somehow become my most productive time for producing. So it's pretty much just like when I
true.
wake up to when I go to bed, I'm just like there's just basically no leisure time. And for me, that's fine if I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Like
Yeah,
I only really need true time off if I'm not enjoying what I'm working on, to like unplug. But
yeah.
if I put the headphones on and I'm excited and passionate about the projects, like it's the only thing I can really do all day is produce music. The only thing.
That I envy you that so much because I remember that phase when I had it, and it was awesome. You were just a machine for content. You just do. You can do anything, and you're happy with everything.
Yeah,
And so definitely hold on to
I
that
know.
as long as you can. That is absolutely perfect.
It won't last. It won't last forever, but take
And
advantage of
we
it.
will happy to misuse it with the boys.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure I'll do a fair amount of tweaking and stuff, but like I'm pretty much
Mm,
done with well, I did the one song right at the start that I was like, hey, you guys want to do this song? Like I could do it solo or we could do it. So that will probably come
yeah,
out in the fall, right?
yeah,
Most
yeah, yeah,
likely. If I Had
yeah,
a Heart is mine. The song for the next album is
yeah.
done. And then the what can I say? The one we just decided on recently, a kind of harkening back to where we started, wink wink,
Ah,
as a
yeah, yeah,
as a
yeah, yeah,
group.
yeah.
That's pretty much like that demo is pretty much done
Really?
as well. So I'm pretty much done with 2024 for the bass gang
Oh,
in January. Now it's just a matter of choosing who I want to sing what.
dude, I feel so bad right now that I'm not doing anything. I thought I started.
Well,
That's awesome, dude.
it's
I
also
can't wait.
outrageous to be this far ahead. There's no need to be this far ahead. I'm like 10 months ahead
Well,
on
yeah, but
stuff.
you're gonna have a busy season, when you start with the opera and everything, and you
Yeah.
can chill in the summer. You're
Yeah,
still gonna be recording everything, so
I
that's
will.
that.
May and June will be a bunch of recording for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
yeah, dude, you know how it is. When inspiration's there, you got to use it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, yeah, whenever you can get it, just hold on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All it takes pretty
Oh,
much is a cool project. Project comes up, you start it,
true.
you get pumped about it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. It's just that fact that you have to start. Just doubting from the beginning just makes everything that it's not gonna be good if you don't even start. So just start, and then something comes, and you're like, oh yeah,
Yes,
that's it. That's it.
exactly. You have to you you have to take action, period.
Yeah,
It is actually really difficult to think your way into a inspired state. Like
it
that
is. I
like
haven't done it ever.
yeah,
It's
that comes from action. It comes from just trying something and then something sparks your interest.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just hear the sequence, and sometimes because you heard so many songs, you did so many arrangements, it
Hmm.
just your brain just automatically clicks something in and just plays it in your head, and you're like, I had didn't think about this, but this just came to me because I heard the previous sequence.
Right.
That happens a lot.
Exactly. Exactly. What's your method for dealing with creative burnout if you get it? You mentioned with the album, like just taking a step back for a while. Do
Yeah,
you have anything specific you do?
it's just it is hard. Like definitely step back is something that is necessary. If you have a burnout, you cannot push it because it's not going to be as good, and you're definitely not going to be happy with it, and you're not going to have fun.
Hmm.
So, but what I did basically was just completely rework how I think about me, like my own music on YouTube and other platforms, and just going from like I'm taking this as a business that has an opportunity to be my living one day, to just deciding, okay, I'm not gonna go that route. Like It's great if it makes me some money. It's great if I make it to bring joy to people, to bring joy to myself, to just make amazing music, to get to know new people, and new experiences. And that's all amazing, but I'm not going to be focusing that this is a primary source of income, because it just makes it worse in my case. So that's what helped me, but it's definitely different for everybody. So yeah, one tip is from me is definitely just take a break, chill out, think about it, and try to do something with the music or whatever the thing that you're doing is, like whatever art style or work. If you have burnout, just do the thing in a completely different way that you never tried. Something new, fresh, that's going to spark that passion again.
Mm-hmm.
That works
Yeah,
as well.
good advice. I find my inspiration usually gets kicked if I go consume artistic content of something unrelated, but that I really love. So
Mhm.
if I'm burned out on opera, for example, if I go to a concert, could be totally unrelated to opera, but if I get really excited about music in some way, that will usually also get me more inspired about opera. Or even as something like
Well,
if I'm burned out on producing, if I go and watch something like Arcane again, if I like rewatch Arcane, that will get me so excited about creativity and creating things that it'll like reignite my desire to
yeah.
produce music.
Oh yeah.
Something totally unrelated, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But is in that artistic creative field. I find that's a great way to respark.
Yeah, true. That is the good. I need to try that. Yeah, just watch something that really brought a lot of inspiration when I was younger, that can
Yeah,
just bring it back. That's a good one.
it's super helpful um, in my
Yeah,
experience. And yeah, just like in the concert thing I mentioned, just like being in that environment where you're in a crowd and someone's performing and everyone's excited about music together, there's that energy.
yeah,
That's so easy to forget and lose touch with if you are like, in the booth with headphones on and like
yeah. I
being a
do.
little music gremlin like for hours a day. Like,
It is a total different experience singing live, especially because I'm primarily a bass. So the fact that I get to sing bass live, like as a part of a cappella group, it is completely different to anything in the studio. And we actually recently had a pretty funny experience on the concert that we did. If you want to hear it,
yeah, please.
uh, we were singing on this award ceremony for like the Sportsman of the Year, basically. But it was like a local thing in one of the cities in Czechia, in Břeclav, and the moderator was a very famous Czech actor and voice actor, and I I've heard him since childhood. He was doing the voice for one of my favorite characters in a video game. His name is Marek Vashut, and he has such a cool voice, like charismatic, rich, like baritone. It is so good. And he was doing the moderation, and we had these blocks of 15 minutes, 5 minutes that we sang a song, just one song, and then then we did like a like a I don't know what you call it. We call
A
it fanfare.
fanfare, a
Yeah,
fanfare.
fanfare. Yeah. So that's what we did. And there was one song that we sang. You heard it when you were in Czechia on our concert, which is "Can't Stop the Feeling."
Yeah, yeah, of
That
course.
arrangement, and it has that. So don't stop, and we stop the music.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
works in the concert because people start clapping, and we just fake them out,
Yeah.
which is awesome. But there was a moderator that had no idea that we were gonna do it. So we just said stop, and then he came in and started talking, and we were like, no, 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 just no. and we were just showing on Yurka, just like start, but he was turned back on him, so he didn't even see him, and we're just waiting for him, just start the lead. And then he turned around and was like, huh. And so he just started singing without saying anything. So he was just awkwardly just standing there. And then he actually started singing with us.
Oh my gosh.
So when the final part came in, it was just dum, 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 ba-dee-bee, dum, 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 just
Yeah.
that, just a bass line. And the beat. And I just heard something. And I heard wow, 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 wow. I'm like, where's that coming from? And he was just doing that into that mic. It was so funny. Yeah,
That's so
so
cool, man.
faked out the
Big Dad the moderator.
moderator. Yeah. That was
What's
hilarious.
what's the future for Shotzi? Is that it
Um,
feels like you guys are all it feels like you guys take it seriously, but it feels like a hobby for all of you. Like it's no one's primary income or
yeah, it definitely isn't a
anything like that.
primary income. Yeah, because we make some money from the live shows,
Hmm.
but it is definitely not enough to for six people to have reasonable income.
Yeah.
And so it is a we have some money from it, so we do it for that, but we also do it because it is so much fun. And with the new developments that we did towards the tech that we have with all the in-ear monitors and the mics the without the cable. So
Wireless
we
mics.
invested a lot of wireless ones. We invest a lot of money into the tech. So now it's everything is just set up. We just go in, bring these two boxes, connect everything, and we are good to go. They just do the sound for the space, and we're done. So, which makes it so much easier for us and so much more
Yeah.
fun.
Awesome.
So yeah, we are taking it seriously from the live show standpoint, but not like completely seriously. What we don't plan a
Hmm.
tour or anything.
Yeah.
So it's just some good shows that we want to do, some concerts maybe of our own, and just have fun, enjoy it because we love the music. It's fun.
Yeah. There's nothing like live performance, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I hope that one day the Bass King is gonna have a live performance.
So
That's
too,
something I
man.
really want to try because it would
That's
be like nothing else.
yes, it would be crazy. And that's also that has been my arrangements work well for that, and I've been thinking more about that lately. Like it
Hmm.
is both the way I want to write the arrangements, like mixing all these things that I like doing and am good at in music, the production and the multi-tracking and all that stuff. But they're also much more performable because for the most part, it's us
Hmm.
doing, the lead plus a number of harmonies and then a lot of instruments and samples and stuff like on
Ah,
tracks, as opposed to acapella. Like
true.
there's no chance we're gonna perform hide and seek with the
Yeah,
four of us. It's like
that's never
a
happened.
hundred tracks of the most absurd vocal harmonies ever written. It's
And
just not
bass lines.
possible. It's just not possible. But like the version I'm doing for like a lot of the stuff I'm working on for us right now, pretty much all the songs for 2024. Um, and even if I had a heart, could be probably simplified a lot. We could have some
Could be,
backing
yeah.
stuff, but like overall, it's relatively simple. It's just heavily multi-tracked. But the other stuff, especially, very like performable live. We have like all these backing tracks of instruments and
That's great.
drums and
That's
stuff.
great.
So it could work out nicely for like how we go about making more performable arrangements if
Yeah,
and when there comes a time when we can perform live.
yeah. Hopefully soon. That'd be awesome. But that's great. I'm really glad to hear that. So we don't have to stress about that much about what
Yeah.
repertoire
We
we're
just
gonna be doing.
hire a backup choir for all.
Yeah, yeah. That's the biggest problem right now. If somebody would pay us like $1 million to just go to one place and sing for me live for an hour, we'd be like, "Well, we would love to, but we don't have anything."
We literally can't.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
up to outside of music these days?
Well, besides working as a software developer, which is
Sure.
on a daily basis, basically, I actually got recently a really not really seriously yet, but it's getting to the serious level of chess
Oh,
because
yes.
yeah, I'm this guy that's into puzzles. I just love it. Like I every time you just see me, I have a
Yeah.
Rubik's cubes in hand. I loved Sudoku for like 2 years, like all different kinds and crazy rules
Hmm.
sets and everything. And but chess is like by far the most popular maybe with this Rubik's cube, but the most popular puzzle that people play and have the most even views and everything on YouTube with
Yeah.
different channels. And so I really started because I've understand never understood how people are so good. I understood the rules and how to play basically,
Yeah.
but I never understood like what makes them so good at it. So I just went into it. I bought a course, I bought a membership on chess.com, and I just started, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I'm pretty low rated still because I'm still scared a little bit of playing people. So it's like not that many matches, but that's been a lot of fun for me recently.
Cool. Very cool.
By the way, there is one thing that I wanted to say on the record. Okay.
Okay.
And I watched your interview with Big Ref today.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
finally got to it, and you have to stop this
Okay.
because you have no idea how many times I saw on social media or anywhere that people saying that I'm 6'6". There is even a chapter in the YouTube sections, just height of the people in the industry, in the brackets, Tomi P. I'm like, oh my God.
I
Because
still
yeah, okay, if I
I still
have my
think
shoes on and I have my hair really high, I am 6'8". Okay, I'm gonna give that to you. But I am 6'5" plus a little bit.
so if you're barefoot and bald, you're 6'5".
Yeah.
Okay.
196 centimeters.
Okay. Barefoot and bald with the
Yeah.
hair at least 6'6" though.
Yeah, with the hair, depends how it's done, but 6'6", 6'7" usually.
Well, I think that's what my radar is probably gauging, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Because like I have friends who are 6'5", I guess, with shorter hair, and you're taller. Like you're definitely taller.
Yeah, it's also the fact that I'm really lean. Well, I
Hmm.
used to be more, but I'm still really lean, and so that gives you like a feeling that I'm taller than I actually am. But yes, I'm a very tall. But in Czech Republic there is so many tall people. The
Mm,
average height is much higher than in the US, I think.
interesting. All right.
Like
Well,
my mom is what 6'1".
really?
Yeah,
Oh my
she's
gosh.
super tall.
That's ridiculously tall.
Yeah.
Okay. Tommy P claims he's 6'5".
Yes, we can measure it next time we see each other. Like,
Oh, we should. We have to.
all right,
All right.
let's get
Patreon
into it.
questions.
Let's
Okay,
get into it.
we've kind of we've touched this a little bit, but Glowface asks, Tommy, when are you going to do more Tommy music? We miss you.
Yeah. I know. I know a lot of people told me, and there's gonna be much more music, as I said. And one thing that really surprised me actually, because I told this to my patrons in a post on my Patreon, that like I'm not releasing music as much as I used to, and that I understand having a bunch of people pay you monthly fees for basically not doing that much. It's not fair to a lot of people if they are there, especially like just for the benefits. So I just told them that like don't expect a lot of things. It's just going to be on a casual basis. Like I appreciate all of you, but don't feel pressured staying here. And everybody was like unanimously like, dude, we are here because we love you. Just take how much time you want. We're gonna be here.
That's the
That
best.
was mind blowing for me because I'm like, you guys, you are giving me money. What are you doing? Like, I'm not gonna hate you if you're gonna leave. That is absolutely mind blowing for me,
Yeah.
and gives me a little bit more faith in people
Yeah.
and fans. The internet is not that bad after all.
They're the best. I feel the same way every time I make a big update. Like I remove a benefit from a tier or something. They're
Yeah,
like, we're here for you, man, not the benefits. Like some people are like,
yeah,
you don't have to send me merch, you don't have to literally do anything. I just want to support you. And it's like, that's the best. We love our
yeah.
Patreon communities.
Yes, it is the best community that I've ever seen.
All right, from Amy. Amy and Nora both are actually coming to Phoenix this weekend to watch me
Yeah, I
perform in
heard.
Barber.
Let's go.
Super cool. So big shout out to them. I'm gonna have to find a way to get together with them in between shows. Amy
Yeah,
asks,
yeah.
"What's your favorite type of music or genre to sing in?"
Oh, that's a good one. I have so many favorites. Like there's a couple ones that I don't do, like rapping. I cannot do rapping or hip hop or any style like that. Also, but I I really like to sing basically anything. Like country is the first thing that comes to mind because
Oh,
I know
yes.
so many country songs, and it can just mostly Eric Stapleton like this.
Yeah.
That's just the one. And uh actually I cannot really do metal, but I've been trying a little bit with the new training for throat bass that I try to do
Awesome.
more. So yeah, that's been fun as well recently.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Nora says, parentheses, insert something pithy about his recent obsession with chess here.
And no, I
Nora
just like play.
Nora is super intelligent.
Yeah, she's a
Like
very smart person.
every comment is like, this is coming from a next level brain. For real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I remember that moment once we were in the VC, and she just came to the chat. She turned on the camera and she was doing something. And we are like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Building a satellite, or a part for a satellite, or like something." I'm like, "Dude, this is beyond me."
actual rocket science.
Yeah.
It's wild. Okay, from Amanda. Um, anything into how he has influenced the community from full solo covers, etc. Not sure I understand this question.
Like how I influence the community of with my music, or
I feel like that's more what I feel like the community has to answer that one. I feel like you
yeah,
can't be like,
probably I
well,
can.
I have transformed the bass community in such and such way. Like,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Ingress information is here because of me.
We're gonna table that one. Let's table that
Yeah.
one. Casper says, "What's the capital of West Virginia?"
Orlando, baby. Always. Always.
I love how that is lore and that people actually know. They understand that reference.
What is it actually?
Charleston, I believe. Charleston, West
Charleston.
Virginia.
That's
Yeah.
the one. Yeah.
There's Charleston, South Carolina, and Charleston, West Virginia. Not very creative.
Wow.
All
Yeah.
right, from Diamond. Tommy, your voice has so much depth and color to it, like an actor who uses method
Hmm.
acting. This makes me wonder if you write your own songs and just haven't shared them yet. Do you have any originals out there?
Well, yes. Yes. Well, first of all, thank you. I really appreciate it. That's something I'm really insecure about, like this kind of doing voices that are not exactly singing. So that really thank you for that. But yeah, I composed 3 songs of my own so far, and 2 of them were mostly just a melody and chords rearranged a little bit from other songs that I really liked and made with Czech lyrics. And I think I did a pretty good job with the lyrics, actually. I'm really proud of those. And there's one that I composed entirely on my own. And it was that's a funny story on its own because I composed it for a girl. I had a really big crush on a girl, and I decided for her birthday, I'm gonna compose, arrange, and record and mix and just make a full song cover, not cover, song original just for her.
Were you
And
you
there
were
were it
dating? You just
was
had a big crush on her?
yeah, we were really like spending a lot of time together, but
Okay,
we
okay,
weren't dating, you
okay.
know. It wasn't going in that
Not
direction
official.
so far.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just made it as a kind of love letter to her. And then I remember playing it. I don't know if she just pretended or if she really just was oblivious to it, but she absolutely didn't get it. And she was like, "Oh, that's so nice. Thank you." Gave me a hug and just left. And I remember
R.I.P.
that
R.I.P.
it
bro.
absolutely devastated me. So
Oh man,
since
that's
then,
brutal.
I haven't composed basically.
Who is she? Just kidding. You don't
She
have to say
has
that.
it's been a long time. That's a definitely like 5 years ago. So
Okay. Good, good, good.
yeah.
You think you're recovered by now?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend now. I'm very happy with her. So
Yes, she is
it's
wonderful. Shout out to Tommy's lady.
yeah, yeah. Shout out to her, and she says also hi. By the way, I forgot
Yay.
to mention.
Yeah, she's really great. Okay, this is from Ryan. Tommy, how do you narrow down your list of ideas and ultimately choose the one you want to create a cover for? We've talked about this some, but yeah, go
Well,
for it.
that's not hard because actually I'm lucky to get one idea. Because I'm very, very specific with choosing what I'm gonna cover. Because I know it cannot be something that is just type of a song that I already did, and that I know that it would just drive me into making it very similar to something that I already have done. And I just don't like repeating myself that much. So I always try to come up with at least something new for the song. And that's why the candidates are just not that frequent. So that's usually not a problem.
And also well, actually, here's another question piggybacking off that. So if you're really specific and intentional about picking your songs, would you say you finish most of the ones you start to a complete project?
So far I finished all of them except for the ones that I'm still working on for this year, which is so far the one that's going to come out in like 2 to 3 weeks, and then the other one which probably within a couple of months. I don't think there's anything else that I have planned so far, but like I'm gonna definitely think about it. So yeah, most of the time I finish everything, but I actually wanted to do a full Czech album once, because I love Czech music, especially the classic, not classical, but the classic folk songs that everybody was singing around on the bonfire and everything with the guitar with my family. So that is a really close place to my heart. So I wanted to do an album with them, and I did like 5 arrangements and actually did 2 recordings of them.
Whoa!
But then I decided to take YouTube more seriously back then, and I knew that doing something Czech just wouldn't be profitable. It just wouldn't. So I have a couple of songs that I'm probably going to release for Patreons one day.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, it's just fun arrangements of Czech classics.
Cool, man. That was our final Patreon question. So any final words to the fans, to the audience, and yeah, anything, man. Then we'll sign off.
Well, this is absolutely perfect. Like I love this, just seeing so many interviews that you did and being part of it. So it is really that fun as it looks, guys.
It really is. Yeah,
thank you for all the support. I'm really glad that I still see people wanting me to do more stuff. I really appreciate that. So I'm just saying, don't worry, there will be, and very, very soon. But for you, it pretty much already was. Yeah.
Yeah. You will have already seen something by this time.
It's gonna be good.
Amazing. All right, buddy. Thanks so much for coming on the show. We'll chat a bit afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed that conversation with the great Tomi P. If you'd like to see another episode with another amazing member of the Bass Gang, check out Bobby Bass right here. Go on, click it.